be so how we are going to consider this as B, C and D is nothing but it will be all the values that is considered in the circle is considered as B, C and D. Okay, so that is how we are going to consider B, C and D. So the substitution will be in this case 1 minus 1 divided by 3 into 3. So that is nothing but 1 minus 1 divided by 3 into 3. So which is equal to 0. Alright, so we will just go ahead. Now we will find out the new value for S1. For that we have to consider the S1 column values which is equal to 1 and 0 and reference column values which is equal to 1 by 3. In this case we are finding out the new value for 1. So that is the reason this will be considered as A. Okay, so I am just going back to the table. Yes, so S1 new value I am going to calculate for S1. So in this case it will be A, this will be B, this will be C and this will be equal to D. Okay, so this will be A minus B divided by B C into D. Okay, A minus B divided by C into D. Okay, so why? Because we are calculating new value for S1. Alright, now so this is nothing but 1 minus 1 divided by 3 into 0 which is equal to 1. Okay, now next similarly we are going to calculate new value for S2 which is equal to 0 minus 1 divided by 3 into 1. How is that? It is nothing but, I'm just going back to the previous page. Okay, now in this page if you have to see, in this case we are going to we are calculating new value for S2. So that is the reason this will be A, this will be B, this will be C and in this case this will be D. Okay, because we are calculating new value for S2, that is the reason 0 will be A, B will be 1, C will be 3 and D will be equal to 1. Okay, so same thing is happening here. I'm just going to the next pages. So S2 is nothing but 0 minus 1 divided by 3 into 1 which is equal to minus 0.33. Okay. Now next is RHS. RHS also the same thing we are supposed to do. We have to consider the RHS column and the reference column values where 4 is A now. Okay. A minus B divided by C into D. Okay. So that is the reason 4 minus 1 by 3 into 6 which is equal to 2. Okay. Now we have seen in the previous problem how to calculate the new value for the reference row. So I'm just going back to the previous page. Now what's happening is that we have calculated the new values for this first row. This was not the reference row. That is the reason we have to calculate with the equation A minus B divided by C into D. But the second row is not the same. This is the reference row. For the reference row, the calculation becomes old row 2 divided by the overlapped value. Now the overlapped value is 3. Why? Because this is selected twice. 3 is also selected in the column as well as in the row. So that is the reason this complete row gets divided by 3. Okay, so that will be the new value for row 2. So that is new row 2 calculation. Okay, I'm going to the next page. Alright, so here new for row 2, the new row 2 calculation is nothing but old row 2 divided by overlapped value. Overlapped value is nothing but it is 4 in this case. It is overlapped value is 3 in this case, sorry. It is 3 in this case which is equal to 1 divided by 3, 3 divided by 3, 0 divided by 3, 1 divided by 3 and 6 divided by 3. Okay, so if I have to see, I'm just going to the next page. So it will be 0.33, 1, 0, 0.33 and 2. Okay, so I'm just replacing all the new values here. New row 1 including RHS is equal to 2 and new row 1 is this whatever we have calculated, this will not be changed, that is Zj values will not change, it will remain as it is. Okay, so next is we have to see how to determine these basic variables. Now I'm just to determine this, I'm just going back to the previous table. Okay, so in the previous table what we have done was, yes, so in the previous table what we did was, these two were the basic variables, correct? S1 was 0, S2 was also 0. Now what happened was, we have considered this 5 and this was the maximum, this product B gave us maximum profit, that is the reason we have selected column 2. Okay, now and also what we did was, as we went ahead, okay, so we consider the second row as the reference row. Now what we did, now that means we are supposed to manufacture 2 units of product B, 2 units of product B. Okay, now that is the reason S2 gets replaced with Y. Why? Because reference row, whatever reference row was there, that basic variable will be substituted with Y. Okay, so why only Y? Because this is the maximum value here. Okay, so that is the reason we are going to substitute S2 with why only S2, because this is the reference row basic variable. Why only Y? Because this is the reference column. Okay, so that is the reason in place of S2 we are going to write it as Y. Okay, I'm just going to the next page. Yes, so in place of S2 I'm going to write Y, and whatever profit value is there, that we are going to write here. Okay, so this Y comes over here and rest of the value is same. S1 is 0. The same value was retained even in the previous table. Okay, alright, so once this is determined, rest of the calculation again gets repeated. Again we have to calculate C and Zj minus Cj values. So how to calculate C values? C1 is nothing but we are going to consider the basic variable first, and again we are going to consider X because we are calculating C1. Okay, so that is the reason we are going to consider X. Okay, so 0 and 5, 0 and 5. Next is X column, that is 0.67 and 0.33. Okay, so here we have got these two, and when we multiply this we are going to get 0 and 1.65, which is 1.65. Similarly we have to get C2, C3, C4. Okay, C2 is here, C3 is 0, C4 is 1.65. Okay, and Zj minus Cj, Z1 minus C1 is 3 minus 1.65. How do we get this? Z1, if you have to see, it is 3. How do we get this? It is nothing but it is there in the table. Yes,